Not gonna make it.
Not gonna make it till the weekend. I drove to Shenandoah yesterday, and most of the way is on 71. And then you go west and it's county road. There's no shoulder. So it's just pavement, narrow pavement, and no grass, and it's grass. I'm like, oh my God.
There's no place to go off in the winter.
No, I mean, and I would have hated to meet like a combine or a tractor or something on that road. That is a long haul.
I was up with my daughter on Friday. We stayed till Sunday because she's working, he's gone. The kids need to move around. But they have pure white rock. Oh my God, it is so dusty out there. It is ridiculous. Of course, it hasn't been rain to settle it for months. But the grass is snow white. In the lawn. I said, now I know why they built the houses a quarter mile off the road to keep it from going in and out. It's the way.
Well, when we built on gravel, we built on the south side of the dirt. And it's true that it's more often that the dirt's blowing to the north, you know.
Typically in the summer, it blows north, yep.
And then we were back over that far enough away then.
Hi, Nathan.
Hello.
Hi, Nathan.
That was a pretty good looking crew on there just before your face came on.
Oh, that's my wife and myself from like a decade ago.
It feels like longer or it feels shorter?
Careful.
It doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Careful.
I know. Times when you're having fun.
Yeah, that it does. Neil?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Neil. You won't have any barking dogs in the background. I'm back home.
Did you bring them with you?
No, I was out at the kids' place and everybody was gone, so nobody was there to keep the dogs quiet.
That's what you and Rhonda needs, a couple.
No. When I got home, I was glad we didn't have any house pets, as most people have, but
We don't either, because I just didn't ever thought it was fair to them to tie them up all the time, because I'd be gone. I just didn't think it was fair to them.
You could have them now.
Oh.
You're retired. Semi-retired. I guess you're not 100% retired since you're
Yeah.
semi-retired.
And mostly semi.
I have a question. Maybe someone there can answer it before Nathan gets on. I see our par amount is 3.375, which is an increase. Is there a reason for that? I'm glad overall that we're saving a lot of money, but I just is curious as to why there is a increase in the par amount.
Nathan is on, so you can ask him.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer that if you answer now.
Why don't you wait here, we'll get the meeting started and then we'll ask that question.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, it's 3:00. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order for today on Wednesday, September 30th. One of the first things we want to do is want to approve the agenda, but I think we may have an addition for discussion only. I'd like to add in the employee contact tracing process, then that's just for discussion only. That's not for, no vote, just for discussion.
With that change, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay. Call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 And opposed? Motion carries. One other thing I'm going to add in here right now, if there's any comments from the public, there is a time delay of about a minute. So if you would like to send your comments in, please send them now and we will have them read before we adjourn. Okay, the first thing up is the resolution 2020-015 awarding the sale and authorization issuance of general obligation refunding bonds series 2020 and providing for the levy of taxes. Nathan, would you want to take over from this point?
Sure, I am happy to give a brief overview. I guess I would start, and Neil had a question before we started the meeting, and Neil, I'll work the answer to your question in here as I walk through the documents. So I'll start with a document at the top. It says tabulation of bids. Just giving an overview of 4 bids that the county received, ranging from 0.71% to 0.82%. Obviously really low interest rates, which we're pleased to see. The bids were relatively tight, which is a good sign that we're right on the market. The winning bid being a little bit separated by the second place bid is also a good sign. It looks like we got a pretty good winning bid. So that kind of gives an overview of who the bidders were. UMB Bank out of Kansas City, Missouri was the low bid. And that's who, as you'll see, who will propose awarding the bonds to. The second document that I'd sent to Courtney, and I believe you all received a copy, is the actual numbers outlining the results of the refunding. And as Neil had pointed out, the par amount went up just a little bit. As you can see, I think there was a little bit of refining in the cost of issuance as I got firm fee quotes from some of the other parties. The unders discount is something that we just have to guess at until we receive the bids. So that was another kind of moving target. The other moving target is the premium amount, right under the par amount, $158,520. If you folks will recall, when we did the jail financing, that's the piece of things in the jail financing that we were trying to derive some more funding for the project through that reoffering premium. And that reoffering premium, we really don't know until we get the actual bids in, how the underwriter is going to propose selling the bonds. So the reoffering premium came in perhaps just a little bit under what I had plugged in my original numbers. So that's why there's a slight increase in the par amount. Does that make sense, Neil?
Yeah, I didn't know why there had been, I think there's about a 40,000 increase in the par amount. It was resized basically.
Yeah, yep. So a lot of that just kind of moving targets until the bid back from the underwriter. So that's why there's a little bit of resizing involved there. In the sources and uses of funds, we built in we have an invoice from Motorola for the 3.8 million. That's the cash deposit. The first thing you see there under uses of funds. It accounts for the cost of issuing the bonds, including paying the financial folks and the attorneys and everybody that's involved. We counted as sources of funds the amount the county had budgeted for the October 15th, 2020 lease payment of about $437,000. So that'd be money that the county had already budgeted in fiscal 21 to make this lease payment. That's how we came up with the par amount. On the second page, I'd point out the second line from the bottom, net present value savings. I believe when we started this exercise, I was looking at about $220,000 of savings, and we wound up with about $283,000 of savings. And again, that's net of any of the financing costs, underwriting, financing fees, paying attorneys. That is all accounted for in the $283,000 worth of savings. Page 3 of that PDF shows an overview of the annual savings. So you can see there's about $30,000 of annual savings each year through 2030, and that'll provide a little bit of debt service levy relief for the county and its taxpayers. The third file that I had attached to that email is called the award recommendation letter. And as the county's municipal advisor, I'm just stating that we had reviewed all 4 of the bids, and based on current market conditions, we would recommend the county go ahead and award the bid to UMB Bank. That's kind of an overview. Obviously news that the county looks like it's going to be able to save more money than even we thought when we started going through this exercise. Happy to answer any questions at this point.
So Nathan, as I read this, the true interest cost is going to be 0.71, according
That's
to
correct.
the bid sheet.
Correct.
There was quite a bit of distance between them and the next bidder too, so that made me feel real good that they're happy with our financial situation. So
yeah, and the other silver lining here too is that S&P affirmed the county's rating at AA. So that's again a testament to the way the county is being operated and run financially. They especially pointed to the way the county views that local option sales tax cash balance as kind of a rainy day reserve. They really liked seeing that the county viewed it in that way and valued it as you do, and that you've managed it as well as you have. So I think that's a testament to the county as well. Courtney did a great job on the rating call, and I'll give her a shout out in that she's done a lot of extra work here, circulating emails and things like that. I know she's got a lot on her plate here over the next month and change, but her performance was valuable as well.
any more questions for Nathan?
No, I want to thank Nathan for the work he's done. I think he's done an excellent job. He's come through for us again, and thank you, Nathan.
Yeah, good job. Good job, Nathan.
On behalf of the taxpayer, saving $283,000 is significant and appreciated. Thanks.
Thank you all. Happy to help.
Carl, is there any comments or questions from the YouTubes? Okay, we have none, so just wanted to make sure you guys all knew that. Nathan, yeah, I can't thank you enough. This has been very valuable to us and will be for quite a ways into the future. You've been worth your weight in gold, but don't tell your boss that.
I'll keep it between us.
Okay, so you need, we need to have this resolution. We need to vote on it, and we just need to sign the paperwork and get it back to you. That's all that you request from us today. Correct?
Correct. Yes. Yes. As we get closer to the payoff date of the lease is October 15th. We're going to close the bonds on the 14th, the day before that. A week or two prior to that, which is coming up here in the next few days, we'll get a closing memo circulated, and that'll control the flow of the funds. UMB, the underwriter, will send a wire to the county, and then the county will need to set up a wire to go to Motorola to pay off the lease. But we'll send a memo and include all the parties on that, so everybody understands the flow of funds at closing.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're in good shape.
All right, very good.
Hey, Nathan.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2020-015 awarding sale and authorizing issues of general obligation refunding bonds, series 2020, and providing for the levy of taxes.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion on it? If hearing none, I'll call for the vote, and that's roll call.
Houseman,
Yes.
Yes.
Miners,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Stettler.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Very good. We'll get those signed, Nathan, and get them electronically sent back to you.
Perfect.
You need
Thank you all.
copies of that too?
Sorry, say that again.
You need a hard copy of that, or can we just keep that?
I don't need a hard copy. There may be some instructions from Bob Jostin in regarding hard copies. He might want a hard copy back for himself, but you can just, if you scan copies for me and email it to me, that'll be fine for my end.
Okay, very good. Thank you,
Okay.
Nathan.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Okay, the next thing
Goodbye.
is discussion on the contact tracing employee hire. And it's just for discussion today. And I think it's been kind of a question on how this person should be employed. I think we were kind of, originally, I think you were, Dean, if I'm not correct, you were kind of leaning towards using the contract similarities of it that we had with a former person we contracted with. But I sensed that there were some changes in the way the thing works. So, and John's here today, and I'm hoping he can help contribute into this. Going out and hiring someone is kind of an easy thing in the private world, but in the government world, it's a little slower and a little different. You got to be careful how many hours you work them. You've got to be careful on providing them equipment. Are you directing them? Are you not directing them? So there's a lot of give and take here on this. And Gene and I have called ISAC, and we got a couple of forms from them, that's kind of the way I see it fitting in, is we got to be a little careful here about how we hire. I'm not saying that we don't need the person, I'm just saying the way we do it needs to be done correctly, so we don't get ourselves in a bind. John, will you have some things you'd like to say there?
I feel like maybe I started this discussion off on the wrong foot, because I don't even know what this is. The Board of Health is an independent statutory board. Is this person going to be a Board of Health contractor, a Board of Health employee?
This, as I understand it, this person is going to go into environmental services and do nothing but contact trace. They're going to.
What is environmental services? What is that?
Carrie's office.
Into Carrie's office. Into Carrie's office. We're placing them through there. Now, Dean, let me ask you this:
The person would work in the courthouse?
That's where it becomes sticky to me, because they're using courthouse computers, courthouse.
They got to be an employee.
That's where I'm leaning, not a contractor. That's how I got there.
Now, if they're
Yeah, I'm certainly okay with that. I don't have any problem with that. Courtney and I had a discussion this morning about it. So, it's not a problem. We just need to get it done. We need to move forward.
okay, then the one rule that applies to every county employment situation is veteran preference and veterans notice. So we got to make sure the notice is out there, make sure they're compliant with that. Otherwise, it would be whatever department this comes under, whatever hiring process is in place, whatever that is. See, I didn't know. I thought it was going to be a Board of Health employee or a contractor.
We just looked at a contractor, but no, we really didn't tie it to the board.
That's the problem we're having, is what department is it really gonna fall under? It's kind of a new position that we don't really have a department for.
It's funny this should come up because driving here today, I thought, why isn't this going with environmental health? Because Carrie has expertise in not public health, but restaurant inspections and safety.
Exactly.
And septic tanks and she's a whiz at understanding and reading regulations. She would be a good person to supervise this person and understand what the task is. And I was actually going to suggest that, but great minds think alike.
Yeah, we were headed down that path
Okay.
with her. And that was the thing that Sherry and, we thought that Sherry and Carrie might have an hour this day, they could jump in and help her, or an hour that next day, you know, kind of pass around. And that, but my question is, that I can't, and Gene and he sent me some stuff and I can't, when does a person become part-time, and how many hours can you work them until you run down the edge of full-time?
My understanding of the county benefits, now that's the definition, not in the code. My understanding of county benefits is we're at 32 hours.
37 and a half is full-time.
It's
20
full-time.
hours, it's regularly scheduled 20 hours, permanent part-time, which has some benefits.
Okay.
This person would be a part-time employee, where there's no guarantee of hours, it's on-call type, kind of like a part-time ambulance worker. They don't always know when they're working, they sometimes don't work at all in a month.
Okay.
So it'd be similar to that.
So do we do the tax deductions for them? Everything is done, obviously there's no IVERS,
Right.
no health insurance in there.
Right.
Okay,
So the county would be responsible for the employer's share, like that, and Medicare for the person,
okay,
which is a little bit additional cost if we were versus a contract employee. but-
correct.
7.65%.
Right.
So Courtney, you were kind of explaining this to be kind of like the conservational, seasonal helpers.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a kind of a close example, because they're considered temporary seasonal. They don't qualify for unemployment. They're covered by IVERS.
Yeah, our problem is here, we don't know how long this is gonna go on, but
Well, as of now.
And it would be difficult to, I think they get a lot of their information on Fridays. And so a lot of times they'll be working over the weekend, and it depends upon, what the spread is as far as how many hours they're actually going to be putting in. So
It may vary. One week, they may be working a lot of hours, but then they might not work at all much the next week, so.
exactly, they may not have nothing to do Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but Friday kicks in, then they get a data sheet with all this list of names, that they need to contact these individuals. So,
Okay,
One more thing to add. My department, certainly the auditor, deal with HIPAA, and we've got HIPAA compliance issues. We've trained our people on HIPAA compliance. When we hire contractors, even the guy that comes and shreds my papers, I have him sign a HIPAA contractor license saying he's gonna follow the rules, because he's kind of my agent. His environmental health department, I can talk to Carrie, are they up to snuff on HIPAA compliance?
You know, if they're, it's part
Because I don't know they deal with it.
They haven't had any, we haven't had them as part of the HIPAA because they haven't dealt with
I didn't think so.
private health information.
Yeah.
So,
That's no problem, we can have that. Just wanted to alert everybody. that
and I never would have thought of that base to cover.
yeah, because the information they're gonna get on the sheets that they get will be protected health information. So wherever they store it, whether it's physically or
How they
digitally,
store it, everything.
yeah,
Okay,
will fall
Okay.
under it.
and we can cover that base with her.
So then, does that employee then come here during the weekends, or they're allowed to work?
Oh, you can have work from home.
Yeah, you just have to.
My hangup was we provided with the county.
Computer, laptop,
That's
yeah.
still a part of our property, it's just like working from
The laptop that they'll be using is actually owned by EMA. It was purchased through that grant. So I don't know if you consider that county.
Yeah, that's kind of a gray
It's
area.
kind of a gray area there, but that's what they'll be using on the weekend to take home with them
Okay,
and to do the tracing from home.
okay, so we should be able to keep proceeding like we are. It's just when we bring on the person, it's gonna be, I just wanted to make sure we're not contracting, because I was a little leery after some of the information Gene found out from ISAC, and it just didn't all fit together, and I'm glad we had.
Well, and I might add, this is, when I got talking to Christie, she said this is kind of unusual. She said she's had more people inquiring about this, so we're not the only one. So there must be a lot of them thinking about doing this because of the COVID and things like that. Yeah.
Speed of it, if that's the problem.
Do you think if we have an ad out right now that says it's a contracted position, do we need to redo our ad and say this is a employee position, or is that something you could discuss during the interview process, or?
Yes.
Have you seen the ad, John?
No, I haven't. Just make sure it's posted in the courthouse for veterans.
It's on the door.
Excellent, excellent.
I got it posted, I
That's-
just,
that's what I want.
at the time, and we thought it was gonna be a contracted position, so it doesn't say the county is looking
Well-
for a contact tracing employee.
You've got a contract. The contract is verbal, and you're gonna work when we want you to, and then you're done when you're done.
Yeah,
I think if you, during the interview process, if that's made
Okay.
clear to everybody.
Okay,
Well, and I think, John, you made a point there. I think that's one thing we got, whoever we hire, we got to let them know that this is a temporary position, this is not a permanent position. This is just for COVID. So,
They need to be at will, not subject to anything else, because this is a temporary, urgent emergency situation.
Yep.
Seasonal in nature, and that's the way it is. If they do a good job, they'll work themselves out of work. How's that?
that's what we're great job.
Dean, have you had anybody contact you?
Had contact me
Yeah.
specifically? No, you mean as far as resumes?
Oh,
Yeah, are you on, is you, Sarah, and who else is on the hiring process?
Well, Sarah's not gonna be on it.
Okay,
It's gonna be Carrie, myself, and Becky Benami.
okay.
What do you think about that?
think about that. Never thought about that, like. That's true. All right. Any other questions? Okay. If not, I guess we'll take a. order.
I guess the only somewhat of a question that Becky and I were discussing this morning was, who does this person actually report to? I mean, is it the Board of Supervisors? Is it the Board of Health? Is it the public health nurse? The problem is that the county's paying for this individual. So you have some disconnects there as far as who this person would actually, we determined that it'd have to be the Board of Supervisors. Now, on a daily basis, it's going to have to be set up. Maybe Sarah Reese, maybe Sarah Anderson, would.
A whole different budget.
Which should be.
I mean, it's just reporting. It's just who you report to. I mean, the final report would be the Board of Supervisors. But on a day-to-day basis, who does this person? Is there an individual?
It says in the applicant or in the job posting that this person will work in conjunction with environmental health and public health and emergency management. I mean, they're gonna be working with those other departments together.
Right.
And if this person reports to the Board of Supervisors, Dean, you're a member of the Board of Health, you can certainly relay anything to that person. But yeah,
Well,
I really think as a county employee, he I did it again.
This person?
He or she should have to talk to the Board of Supervisors, because it's gonna be getting paid out of local option money with that COVID that we budgeted for, which is supervisors oversee and approve that money. There's, we're spending that money, and I think you guys should have the final say. That's my opinion.
It should be the final say, but I guess I would not have, I'm not going to be directing this person in far as this
Dean,
person's duties.
I think that should be the person, whoever hands them the list.
Well, that's what I think. I mean, so there's a little bit of disconnect as far as who they report to, and I mean, I think the Board of Supervisors would be the final. Would be, we can give direction to this individual that you said, Gene, and they would take it from there. I guess that's kind of.
So is she gonna? I did it again. Is this person going to get the list from the Department of Public Health, or from the the local public health office? Or are they getting it from the state?
They'll probably get it from IDPH.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to get the list, and if this person that you hire isn't doing their job and isn't contacting the people they're supposed to be contacting, who's going to get the complaints? Eventually it's going to trickle to the board. You're going to be getting calls saying,
yeah,
having issues.
It'll probably go to the Board of Health, and then to us.
I think it's just got to be very clear when you hire that person that they know they have to work with IDPH, and they'll be working with Carrie, and they'll be working with Sarah. And then if they have issues or questions or whatever, they're going to need to talk to one of the board members. And if you guys want to pick one of you, so they know who to talk to, then so be it. But that's my opinion.
Yep. No, I think that's exactly the way we thought it should go.
No, man, I can't really.
Neil, you're unmuted.
They can find out.
Yeah.
I have a related question. What happens if this person doesn't work out, gets sick, catch COVID, or for whatever reason cannot do their job? How long does it take to turn that back over, or what's our plan there? I mean, this person could work out perfectly, and we hope it does, but let's think about what ifs.
Well, we're having, we since the IDPH has it right now and they're not doing their job, that's why we're bringing it back to the local level. And the local level says that they're not going, because we wanted them to hand it back to the public health nurse and the public health department. They would not do that. They would only hand it back when we had this person in place. This contact, so this person has to be hired and on board before they're going to hand it back to the local level. So I suppose to answer your question, Neil, if something didn't work out with this individual, public health would then have it. So the public health nurse, Sarah, that would be Sarah Schulte and Nicole Schwering from the St. Anthony's Hospital.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Well, it does answer my question, but you aren't sure about your answer either, Dean.
No, I'm not. Yeah, because this
why
thing
don't we
changed.
clarify that just in case, and I hope this person does work out. Thank you, Dean.
You bet. We were surprised that they would not actually give it back to us locally until we had this person in place.
The state would not give it back to us?
The state would not give it back to us until we have this person in place. So we're struggling today. We had calls today from people who have not been contacted in over 5 days. So it's an issue that we need to address.
Yeah, it needs to be addressed as quick as possible. The longer this goes on,
Absolutely.
the farther behind we're going to be.
Yep.
Well, this new ruling that just came down yesterday, will that lessen the burden a little bit?
Well, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. It should make it easier.
I don't think it's gonna make it go away. I just think
No.
it'll be less of them, the people, I think. I don't know that, but.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Rich. There's just a lot of what do I want to say? A lot of infections in the schools right now. And that's where the contact tracing is actually coming from.
Okay. Carl, any other people chiming in?
Nope.
Okay, no comments from the Finnish public, so.
How many
Oh.
years?
Okay, I guess I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries.
So will this be, we'll have to figure out whether it's, tomorrow's Thursday already. We're gonna have to figure out whether this will be a agenda item on Monday or not. Are we gonna wait until this person, because we're gonna have to have some kind of guidance, I guess, from maybe Courtney as far as the hiring of this individual.
I guess I just thought maybe you'd bring a recommendation to us.
And then we can do that. Yep.
Board of Health and or Carrie, all from the hiring committee. Just bring us a name and you recommend that we hire them and we just do it.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
We may or may not have a meeting on Monday, but if we.
Oh, that's right.
If we need to though, we can surely have a short one. We could pretty much do a lot of it by Zoom if we need to.
Okay.
Just let me know.
Well, and it probably wouldn't have to be, in that case, it probably wouldn't have to be Monday then, as long as you give public notice, it could be on a week from today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as long as if you got a good candidate, I wouldn't. I think the issue is urgent enough that you go ahead and get them hired, and then we'll approve them after the fact.
You know, and the last sentence of the ad is position will remain open until this qualified candidate is hired. So we don't have to, as soon as we find somebody that we can hire, we can go ahead and do that.
You got
Or
someone.
at least recommend for hire anyway.
Yeah, you got somebody you're really happy with. If I were you, I'd pull the trigger and move on.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Guys, stay safe. Talk to you later.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, take care.